Good day, friends. This is Tracy Brown, and I'm actually very excited about this little list I'm going to give you right now about, well, why would we even entertain stopping running with the purposeful weight loss crowd, or taking these big risks to like ask for help and feel feelings and fully get your needs met. Like, why would we go to all the time, the effort, the resources to like reparent ourselves and get our needs met and learn how to like actually be at peace with our bodies, when the rest of the world thinks that's not necessary? Like, whatevs, right? It's like, so what if you like, I put in some other memes this week. Well, yeah, I mean, diet culture says that whatever you do to your body, regardless if it's malnourished, it's a means to an end, right? It's okay that if you want to earn love and respect from somebody, or to stop being bullied by people, lose some weight, no big deal, right? Who needs emotional resilience and boundaries? It's, that's the attitude, right? That if you really look at, if you're looking to build confidence or improve your health or your fitness, like, everything's a weight loss solution, versus like, well, or we could try some like interventions that don't cause you any harm, that don't cause you physical, mental, and emotional harm, and don't cause us to live these internalized fat prejudiced lives and self-hating lives. But why would you do that? So I made myself a little list before I hopped on, with little hearts, of course. Why would we even do this? And of course, this is a very popular question that people like me ask people when they first hop on a clarity call, or in their first couple of sessions, is, like, what are your values, and what's the why of doing all this? Because it makes you different. It makes you different to, like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done, like, being food preoccupied. I'm done with, like, gaslighting myself into thinking that my food needs or preferences are bad or wrong. I'm so tired. I'm so done. But we got to have what we're going towards. What's our vision, right? And so I made a list here of some really, really common things that people tell me. It doesn't mean this list is exhaustive. I mean, each person has a very, very deeply personal list of their own inside, and we just gotta find that, right? So let me just read a couple of these things that, like, we always say we want to feel good and comfortable in our skin, but so many people don't understand that they live with like this chronic, like, low level, like, fogginess and fuzziness and fatigue and lack of patience. And it's honestly because they're just either a lot or even slightly malnourished. I mean, if you want to thrive in life, you've got to feel settled and full and, like, feel like you landed in yourself. And you can't do that if you're weighing less than what your body wants you to. And everybody's thriving weight is different. It's like, you can't look at a person and know what their natural body weight is. It's a thriving weight. So, why not? Like, what? I want to be the thriving weight in my life, not what the culture says I should be to belong or fit in, even though it would be, on the short term, easier. There might be a little less, or a lot less, risk of criticism and judgment. And I get that. I get that there's a sacrifice being made to be recovered, which means, like, I am going to have to accept that there may be a few or more than a few situations, or maybe hardly ever, but there's a risk. There's a moderate to low risk of rejection. But we kind of think that rejection, it means something about us, or that it is us, and that's not the truth. It's just that, you can't please a person who wants to stay in their fat prejudice. You just can't. So you kind of have to move on with your life and have a level of acceptance. So here's to a thriving weight, because that's going to help you do everything in your life just in a more easeful way. Another thing here is stamina. And I'm not just talking about like physical stamina. Just, you have more energy. You're going to have more window of tolerance when you're better fed for other things in your life, parenting and relationships, and creating something that you always want to create in the world, whether it's write your book or garden or beekeep or start a business or whatever it is that you kind of just putting off, traveling, waiting to lose weight to be able to earn the right to have it. Without all that, you have more stamina to like do life. This is similar capacity. having more capacity to have the energy to be really present and to be a really great, like, compassionate witness to yourself and others, a really good anthropologist of life. I mean, there's just so much more you can do when your brain isn't running 24/7 about what you're going to eat, what you shouldn't eat, what you should eat, what do people think about what you're eating, what do people think about your weight, what do people think about your aging. It's like, when that is gone, honestly, you'll be almost like, you feel like you just received this miracle of like more like brain space. You might actually you feel smarter, whatever it is, just because it's like you have so much more capacity. Again, it's a similar focus and concentration, just on the things you get to choose. You just have more agency. You just do. You just have more agency to do the things you want and to take up the space that is yours to take, right? Of course, this is obvious, is little to no negative preoccupation with food. Food becomes food again. Sometimes you're eating it supportively to meet certain nutrition needs. Sometimes you're just eating because that's what would really just hit the spot. And there's no backlash, guilt about it. It's just like, no, that's just what I needed to eat. And all food boils down to 3 things: protein, carbs, and fat, and the micronutrients that hang on that train with them. And that's kind of all there is to it. There's no magical thinking. All that stuff gets to go, if that's what it is that you want for your life. Okay. Again, this goes back to the other ones: patience and emotional resilience. Again, we're going to have adversity in our lives. That actually is a part of life. But when you have more space, you recognize how many choices you do have. It's not so black and white anymore, right? Social presence, to be able to be with people and observe, and again, to be a compassionate witness and to actually be interested in them and what they're saying, and offer yourself more authentically. There's a level of nourishment there that you just can't get when you're too preoccupied about what people think about your body. Okay. Speaking of body preoccupation, you can have little to none, meaning you have a body, and you have a body you have to dress, and you have to feed, and you have to sleep, and water, and all the things, but it doesn't have to have the value judgments on it. And again, that just gives you so much energy and bandwidth and subtleness. If you're looking for peace in your life, this is, breaking free from dieting and body hatred is a good way to do it. Okay. The last couple, they're deeper, and they're actually more of my favorites. They're really around living in accordance to your values. Nobody decides when they're 5 and they see a relative getting made fun of or a celebrity getting made fun of, that they want to be somebody who you don't choose that. Like, oh, I want to be worried about my food forever, because if I don't worry about it, then so-and-so might not think that I'm not disciplined, and so I'm going to make it my life's mission to worry about my food so that they won't be as mean to me. Nobody says that when they're 5 or they're 10 or they're 15 or they're 25. It's about survival, right? So survival in a relational context of wanting to be seen, to be loved, to be approved of. That, relational safety. People want that. And so by default, sometimes we live out things that we don't want to, because we feel like we're in this trauma vortex of like, I don't want to do this, but part of me feels like I have to protect myself from the disappointment or the wounding or whatever, from choosing something different. And again, that's why we do all this work in safe relationship. People get wounded with food. The reason anybody has a food issue is because there is relational ruptures around getting needs met. And it just gets overcoupled with food. And then we live out the rest of our lives thinking this is the way to live, and we don't know better until you hear it and you're like, oh, I don't have to choose this anymore, even just accidentally by default. No, you don't. There are other ways to live. You have other options. Okay. So living in accordance with your values. And lastly, again, I'll just put your relational experience are based in really seeing each other. Like, I really see you. I'm getting to know you. I'm being known by you. Versus like, oh, I'm in a relationship with you basically on this external appearance kind of stuff. And realistically and honestly, we all know deep down in our conscience and our heart, our soul, whatever, that's not authentic relationship. That's earning, right? That's performative. Like if I look a certain way, then you'll fill in the blank. Or you won't fill in the blank. Sorry, got some hiccups here. We don't want to, you don't need to be a tap dancer in your life to have a relationship. I'm not saying that's not hard sometimes and that it doesn't mean that misattunements won't happen. They will. It just means that the relationships you do have, you're going to actually settle in and trust more because, again, you're known and seen for who you are, not like, oh, your body or even your health. It's just you. So anyway, it's really important to get really clear, make your own list of like, why am I doing this? Why am I going to mute all the diet culture stuff this next couple months? Why am I even maybe going to stay off social a little bit more, except for maybe some safe resources, and go do other things and focus on, not focus on weight, focus on physical, mental well-being, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being. It's because I want all this. And I can't do that from the level of thinking that got me here or the influences that got me here too. So if you find yourself feeling like everybody who's recovered is small, it's like, well, there might be a little bit of a confirmation bias there. Start looking at other people, doing life, and every single day come into a refreshment of this. Keep this list handy and keep that the reason this is why I'm eating this breakfast. This is why I'm getting more groceries than I think I can eat, not because I need all that this week. It's because I need the security of knowing that I have a choice, and whatever, honestly, interventions you're doing, with your team or whatever it is you're doing. So thank you so much for watching. This video was definitely a compliment to Monday's video about, we are just in that season of being more targeted. And so we just can't be blind to that. We can't be complacent about it. This is the time to kind of have a plan of how I'm going to get my needs met and build those new neural pathways of safety with food, safety in our own bodies, and more safety in relationship. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next video. Bye for now.